All right, y'all. So this is going to be the video for our standard form equations. We're going to look for the slope and the y-intercept. This is going to go along with our quizziz assignment on this. All right, so let's start with the first one. We have 7x plus 2y equals 4. Alrighty, so remember, for your standard form, to find the slope, that will be our negative a over b, or opposite a over b, because sometimes we start with a negative. Alrighty, and then our y-intercept, we're just going to say y-int, is going to be when your x equals 0. Alright, so let's find that slope first. Let's just split this up and find our slope first. Alrighty, so we have A, B, and C here. Alright, we want our opposite A, or negative A. Alright, so our A is going to be 7, so it's going to be negative. Oopsies, I almost wrote A. My bad. We want a negative 7 over our B, which is 2. Cool. Done. That's all we got to do for that one, is just plug it in. If we need to, we're going to have to reduce, but that's it. All right, so let's do the next one. We need our y-intercept. Okay, so I said that's when x equals 0. So I mean this x here. We're just going to replace this letter x with a 0 instead. So let's rewrite this. We got 7. When I replace my x with a 0, I will put it in parentheses. Plus 2y equals 4. Cool. All right, so we have, oopsies, we have something different going on over here now. We have 7 times 0. Remember, those parentheses also mean multiplication. There's a reason why I put that 0 in parentheses, because if I just left it without it, you wouldn't know what to do with it, right? It would just look like a 70, but that's not what we're looking for. We're just replacing our x with a 0. Remember, if you ever have a coefficient next to your variable, it is being multiplied. So, let's keep going. We have 7 times 0 here. Well, any number times 0 is just going to be 0, but I'm not going to write 0 because I don't need to do that. It's just not necessary. That's taking an extra step, and we're not about that. So we're just going to drop that first term altogether. So we're just going to have 2y equals 4. All right, well, now I need to solve for y because we want our y-intercept. So to get y by itself, I see we're multiplying by 2 here. So I'm going to do the opposite and divide by 2. All right, cool. So these 2's are going to go away. So we're left with y equals 4 divided by 2. Well, that's just 2. So our y-intercept is 2. Neat. That's it for that one. We're just finding the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, so let's take a look at number 2 over here. Maybe. There we go. All right, so once again, we want to find the slope and the y-intercept, and we're just going to break this up into 2 pieces. Okay, so we want our slope first. We have an A, we have a B, and we have a C. So I want my opposite A over B for my slope. All right, so we have a negative 15. I need the opposite of that, so it's going to be positive 15 over our B, which is 5. Okay, so this is a situation I was talking about earlier. We have 2 numbers that can be reduced. So I'm just going to divide these. I have 15 divided by 5. That is going to be 3. So my slope will be 3. Alrighty, so now we just need the y-intercept. So remember, that is when you replace your x with a 0 and you solve for y. So remember what we did last time. If we have a number times 0, that's just 0. We don't need to write that. So we're just going to skip that altogether and just drop the rest of it down. We're just getting rid of our x term. Okay, and then I want my y by itself, so I'm going to divide by 5 to get rid of this. So then we just have y equals 25 divided by 5. Well, that's just 5. Okay, cool. Moving right along, let's go to number 3, which is this one here. So we have 12x minus 4y equals 20. All right, same deal. A, B, C. All right, my slope will be my opposite A over B. So I want a negative 12 over a negative 4. Be careful here. You want to keep that sign. All the other ones have been positive so far. Okay, well, I can simplify this. I have a negative over a negative, so that means we're going to end up with a positive number. And I have a 12 over 4. Well, I know that that's going to give me a whole number, so 12 divided by 4 will be 3 again. And my slope will be 3. Okay, y-intercept. So, y-intercept, we're going to replace that x with a 0 again. Minus 4y equals 20. There we go. We're going to drop that x term altogether. We're just going to totally drop that 12 and the 0. So we're going to be left with negative 4y equals 20. Okay, I want y to be by itself, so I'm going to divide by negative 4. Cool. Those are gone. So we have y equals 20 divided by negative 4. Well, that's going to be negative 5. And we're done. Okay, number 4. 5x minus 3y equals negative 21. So, same deal here. We have a B, and a C. We want our slope. That is going to be our opposite A, so negative 5 over our B, which is, once again, a negative number over here, so just be careful about that. Don't drop that negative. It's very important. Okay, negative over a negative will give us a positive, and 5 doesn't divide by 3 in a nice way. We're going to end up with a decimal, so we're just going to keep it the way it is. 5 over 3 is going to be our slope. Okay, now we want a y-intercept. Let's see. We want to replace that x with a 0 and keep the rest of it the same. All right, well, we're just going to drop, oopsies. We're just going to drop that 0, so we got negative 3y equals negative 21. Okay, divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3. We get y equals negative 21 divided by negative 3. Well, that's 7. A positive 7. Neato. One last one. We have negative 12x plus 2y equals negative 8. Alrighty. So we got a B and a C. We need a slope. Our slope is going to be the opposite A over B. So opposite A, we have a negative there, so we want the opposite of negative. That's positive. 12 over 2. Okay. These will divide nicely, so we got 12 divided by 2. That's 6. And that'll be our slope. Then we have y-intercept. That is going to be where our x is equal to 0. Okay, drop that 0, so we have 2y equals negative 8. And we're dividing by 2 to get that y by itself. So we have y equals negative 8 divided by 2. That's a negative 4. And that's our y-intercept. Alrighty. So if you need to go back and watch these or retry the quizziz, definitely do that. But that'll be it. Alright, bye y'all.